January is a month of Cazimis, meaning that we will have several planets seated at the heart of the sun where their influence will be illuminated, making this a very powerful and rare start to the new year. That's right, throughout the entire month, we're going to have several of the traditional planets, along with Pluto, making exact conjunctions with the sun. This is an elevated energy, meaning Venus, Mars, and Mercury will all share the spotlight throughout the month, where their qualities will be expressed in their most visible, empowered, and constructive form. When planets go Cazimi, their energy is empowered and clarified, providing a rare opportunity to harness their energy in a more effortless, supercharged way. We begin the year with Mars exalted in the sign of Capricorn, making its conjunction with the sun on January 9th, just 3 days after Venus goes Cazimi on January 6th, immediately setting the tone of motivation, self-discipline, and strategic action. And that rush of momentum is amplified by the full moon in Cancer on January 3rd. And I'm honestly a little bit obsessed with this full moon energy. It's a good one. This full moon opposes exalted Mars in Capricorn and is in a conjunction with exalted Jupiter in the sign of Cancer. This creates a rare balance between effort and opportunity. This full moon is where willingness meets reward, where action is necessary, where we don't just wait for luck, we participate in it. Mid-month, the new moon in Capricorn on January 18th highlights intentions for positive change that have been a long time coming. This lunation brings our focus to the final chapter of an important outer planet storyline. Uranus, in its last pass through the sign of Taurus, will be forming a sextile to both Saturn and Neptune in the sign of Pisces, which are also at the end degrees, which are also at their last pass in this sign. And this will also be in a sextile and trine with the new moon in the sign of Capricorn. This forms what astrologers call a minor triangle, a rare and beautiful opportunity for you to activate good fortune, for you to activate your luck once again. It's a theme this month where you can't just sit back and allow things to happen to you, but there is beautiful, blessed energy. There are opportunities coming our way if we are able to see them, if we are able to take hold of them, if we're able to actually do the work necessary to make our dreams a reality. This minor triangle is all about endings and letting things go. This is about the last chance to modify, pivot, and change things so we can have a better opportunity moving forward, because we are moving into a brand new life this year. And when it comes to Saturn and Neptune in the sign of Pisces, this is a last meaningful activation at dissolving, restructuring, and reimagining systems and boundaries that we've been working to reshape for about 2.5 years now. And then toward the end of the month, the energy sharpens. We then move into a powerful, intense stretch as Mercury goes Cazimi while it's in a conjunction with Pluto on January 21st. This configuration pulls us into deep, super strange mental rabbit holes and delivers truthful revelations with precision. Mars will then join the Sun, Mercury, Venus, and Pluto in a tight stellium in the sign of Aquarius from the 23rd onward, creating a volatile atmosphere where words carry more weight, edges are sharper, and conflicts surface way more easily. This is a time of sudden reality checks, both personally and collectively, and it's not going to show up in a way that's subtle. Finally, we close out the month of January with a major shift with Neptune moving into Aries on January 26th. This transit becomes one of the defining backdrops of 2026, and we're going to be returning to it time and time again, especially in next month's forecast for February, when we have the big Saturn-Neptune conjunction that we've been building toward for over a year. And I also spoke about this in depth in my 2026 forecast back in December, so make sure you check that out after this video if you haven't already done so. But in this video, we're going to cover everything you need to know to create the fresh starts that you've been looking for in January of 2026. It is a beautiful month for all of the New Year's things, for all of the new beginnings. And I'm going to include, of course, a forecast for all 12 signs. And if you haven't already done so, make sure you also download your free Astrology 101 quick reference guide at the link down in the description below. This guide is going to help you walk through your entire birth chart so you can understand all of your birth chart placements and how they play into the astrology of January and every single month as we go through the free forecast that I provide for you here on this channel all year long. Again, this is 100% free. It's going to even help you start to interpret your own birth chart. The link is down in the description below. And of course, if you're new to this channel or if you just haven't done so yet, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you never miss an important astrology update, forecast, or tutorial. I upload a new video every single Saturday. Saturday. And if you're listening to this forecast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or any other podcasting platform, make sure you follow us and give us a 5-star review. It helps us more than you know. And one last brief announcement before we dive in. I swear I'll make this quick. My Celestial Self-Healing Workshop is going live on January 31st. This is for you if you are entering 2026 feeling tired, burnt out, frazzled, or if you just want better tips for self-care that is aligned with your unique astrological blueprint, so you're not wasting time on doing things and purchasing things that don't work for your body, that don't work for your nervous system. In this workshop, we're going to cover the pillars of nervous system regulation for you and your unique astrological blueprint. We're going to cover sleep and getting deep restorative rest, and we're going to cover self-care in a way that's going to really recharge you, calm you, and help you to feel re-energized so you can tackle everything that's ahead in 2026. I'm timing this at the end of January because February is where things get really wild, and you're going to want to have these tools in your toolkit as we enter deeper into this year. All right, so without further ado, let's get into the forecast. For Aries and for Aries rising, the start of this month, really through the 15th, is going to be all about your career, your public reputation, the mark that you're leaving on this world, and your relationship with people who you look up to or who are in positions of power and authority. And you have a lot of blessings coming your way in regards to all of these topics and themes. Not only are you going to have Venus, which is the planet of relationships and harmony, going Cazimi in your 10th house of career, but you're also going to have Mars doing the same at the very start of the month. This is going to highlight opportunities to connect with the right people, the people that hold the power, the people that can elevate you and help you to achieve your biggest goals. And this is going to be a huge surge of action, activity, and motivation when it comes to reaching and achieving your biggest career goals and plans. And even if you're not somebody who's working, there's something that you want to do. There's something that you're going to want to put out into the world at large for public consumption, however big or vast or small that might be. And this energy is really helping to propel you forward. The right people, the right situations, the right partnerships are going to show up to make this all a reality. There is going to be a little bit of a focus or an energy coming in around home, family, real estate, and property. And it's kind of like your home base or what's going on behind the scenes provides an opportunity or an outlet that will help rebalance things because you're going to be focusing really heavily on that career, on that external motivation. But there's something going on behind the scenes where maybe a family member or maybe a living situation or maybe something or someone within your home provides a balance and provides a launching point through an opportunity. And so I really love this energy for that. Mid-month, we're going to be having a new moon in the sign of Capricorn. Again, this is all about those new beginnings in your career. This is a big month for you for getting things going when it comes to new opportunities for your job and for your business, for whatever it is that you're working on out there in the world, the impact that you're trying to make. And on the 18th, this is the time to really set some solid intentions. You've got some momentum going, you know where you want things to move, and this is the time to really make that happen. This is also a really important time to set intentions for making changes involving your financial situation tied in with your career. And so if you've been looking to get a promotion or make more money or do something or launch something in your business that's going to generate different revenue or more freedom and opportunity through money, this is a time to make that a reality. And finally, toward the end of the month, really the 19th through the 31st, your focus is going to be on your friends, on your social circle. There could be some very intense and deep and important conversations that are very revelatory and very unusual within your social circle that are coming up around this time. There might be an important conversation that you need to have with somebody in your social group, in your friend group, that could be a little bit intimidating, but this is the time to be direct about it. This is the time to take action through your words and through that opening of communication, because there's something very deep here that needs to be addressed. There could also be power and control issues and intense conversations that are coming to you from your social circle that you have to deal with and navigate in one way or another, but this is the time to have those deep conversations. They need to happen. And that Mercury Cazimi is going to make sure that all the right truths, all the right information comes out that's needed. For Taurus and Taurus rising, the start of this month might have you expanding your mind, looking into new areas of study, seeking out a new teacher, taking action on your beliefs about God, the universe, the world around you, your philosophical value systems. It's kind of like taking everything that you've been studying, the wisdom that you've acquired, both through religious study and spiritual study, and through other forms of higher learning and higher knowledge, and you're turning them into something actionable. And this is also a time where new opportunities can come up for you to take action on new educational pursuits that are going to be very beneficial for you. The right people, the right teachers, the right situations can come up for you at the start of this month through the 15th. This is also a time where you might actually have real travel opportunities that you're thinking about or that are coming up for you. If you're traveling at the start of January, this is a really great energy for a trip. And this is also a good time for short distance travel or doing something, maybe just a day trip or a weekend getaway through the start of the month, especially just after the new year. And this is also a really brilliant time for learning something new or teaching something that you have already learned or that has already been acquired through your experience or through your knowledge. This is a really important time for communicating something that is going to benefit not just you, but all concerned. So there's this energy here around at the time of the full moon on the 3rd around expressing yourself or connecting with community in some way. Benefits can come through your day-to-day interactions and communications with people in your immediate environment during that first weekend in January. And benefits can come also through travel. So even if you're not in your immediate environment, the travel itself can bring the opportunities, can bring the benefits. Mid-month, around January 18th, you're going to have a new moon in the sign of Capricorn, also in your 9th house. This is a really important time to set intentions for anything you want to learn or any wisdom you want to develop or acquire in the year ahead. This is also a really important time to set intentions for new educational pursuits and new teaching pursuits. So if there's something, again, that you want to share with others, if there's a book you want to publish, now's the time to get your ducks in a row. The opportunities have already come up in the first half of the month. You can see where things are going. Now's the time to set those really solid intentions. But there is something going on here where you're going to have to let go of an idea of who you once were or the way things you felt like should have been. So there's an energy here where this new moon is trining Uranus in your sign. And especially if you're an N-degree Taurus, this is going to involve you really branching outside of your comfort zone in order to embrace the new wisdom, the new knowledge, the new teaching, the new philosophies that are coming in around the time of this new moon energy, and the things that you're setting intentions for to take action on, because it's going to be an energy of doing something that goes against the grain and that people in your social circle especially will not expect from you. It's kind of like they've been putting you in this little box and you have all these rules and limitations imposed upon you from your friend group or from some sort of social obligation. And this is the time to set intentions to do things differently, to align what you're doing out in the world with your deeply held values, your deeply held wisdom. This is about aligning your beliefs with what you're doing out in the world and acting with integrity. Later on in the month, you're going to be shifting focus. There is some very deep energy going on here in your 10th house of career where some very interesting conversations and truthful revelations are going to be coming out around your work, your workplace, your career, your boss maybe, or this could be you sharing something or you getting a really important message involving your work. There's some sort of, it's like an obsession or a rabbit hole or something that you really need to jump on or take action on or do some discovery around when it comes to what it is that you want to be doing out in the world with your career or the legacy that you want to leave behind after work. And it's being communicated. And this is a time where you might actually be taking some sort of knowledge or wisdom, maybe from that ninth house energy, and communicating it. And it's very truthful, it's very intense, and some people might not resonate with it. Some people might not understand what it is that you're putting out there because it might be a little bit ahead of its time. It might be a little bit intense or dark or too much truth, right? That people just can't handle it. I would say though that this is the time to let it out. This is the time to speak your piece. This could even be you having a really difficult but interesting conversation with a boss or an authority figure that needs to happen. And I would say that it could lead to maybe not working in that position anymore, but it could also lead to changes that are really important, a transformation where the work that you're doing is more aligned with your truest and deepest desires, because this is really about expressing those deep desires when it comes to your work. For Gemini and Gemini rising, the first part of this month, really the first half of this month through the 15th, is going to be really highlighting 8th house topics and themes. And so there's something that's being revealed to you about an investment, an inheritance, somebody else's money, your partner's resources, that's going to be very beneficial to you. This is also a time where you're going to be feeling like you need to take action when it comes to your finances and your investments. There's some sort of opportunity that comes up that shows you that you need to act now. And so that could be like getting a will in place, getting insurance. That could be making an important investment. That could be helping your partner with their resources in some way. It could be that your partner's resources increase and you have to do something with that money, but there's an action that needs to be taken to better your financial situation moving forward that comes up very quickly at the start of the month. It could be paying off a debt even. That could be something that could be really wonderful. And also it matches this because it's kind of like Venus goes Cazimi. There's some sort of like money or something that comes in or an opportunity that you can see very clearly around money and finances. And then right after that, Mars is having you take action, and that action is exalted. So I really love this energy. And there's also opportunity coming in where like money is just coming in, I would say, at the start of this month for a lot of Gemini and Gemini risings, because that full moon on the 3rd in Cancer is highlighting Jupiter in your 2nd house of money and material possessions. It could also be that there's an important purchase that you need to make, and the money comes through like a loan or a credit card or through somebody else, or cashing in on an investment. And that would be, I would say, a good thing. It's kind of like you want this thing or you want this to make this happen, and it shows up and you figure out how to take action to make it so. Middle of the month, around January 18th, there's a new moon also in the sign of Capricorn. This is about looking at the deeper psychological fears, anxieties, issues, and traumas from your past that might be holding you back from really creating what you want to create in terms of the structure around your work and your career and your public reputation. And also creating the financial situation that you need to create for yourself around your career and your public reputation. There's been a lot of hard work going on in the area of career and slow progress. And so this is highlighting the need to address something psychologically and internally, to heal through something in order to open up the energy a little bit more and dissolve those old boundaries, those old restrictions, those old limitations and fears that have created limitations around what you feel like you can actually achieve when it comes to what you're putting out there in the world at large, either through your career or through the legacy that you leave behind after your working years if you're somebody who's no longer working. If you've been in and out of a job lately, this is the time to set those intentions to do the inner work that's required to create a much better situation for the next job that comes in, so it's more aligned and less restrictive and less limiting. Finally, at the end of this month, you are going to be having a lot of energy in the 9th house. It's like you've had, from the 19th through the 30th, there's going to be a deep and intense revelation. The things that you once believed or held true are being alchemized, they're being changed, they're being transformed. You are realizing that there is a deeper truth, a deeper wisdom, maybe behind the philosophies and value systems that you've already been studying, that you've already held dear, or maybe this is in place of that. There's some sort of wisdom that's being revealed to you that's going to really transform your beliefs about God, the universe, and the world around you in a deep way. There is an important communication or an important lesson coming in, or an important learning experience through some sort of course or some sort of travel where you can expand and broaden your horizons. And this is going to really fundamentally change who you are, because you're going to be really empowered to align yourself more fully with your beliefs. And then for Cancer and for Cancer rising, there are big moves being made in relationships for you at the start of this month, Cancer. From the 2nd through the 15th, you are really going to be having a heavy focus on your connections with other people. There is a big, beautiful energy coming in involving your partnerships with others. So that Venus Cazimi that comes exact on the 6th of the month, this is highlighting an important relationship in your life either coming in, or it's really giving you clarity or a message around a relationship that already exists, where you're coming back into a reharmonization, you're coming back into balance. This is really going to be an energy of bringing people together and bringing you together with other people who you care about really deeply. This could also be a new relationship coming in, or something that's revealed to you about your relationships in general that helps you to find better partnerships moving forward. This Mars energy, Mars being Cazimi, this is you taking action to do something with somebody else. It's kind of like partnering up to initiate some sort of action or to gain new motivation for something that you want to move forward with. And the full moon at the start of this month is highlighting you. So you are in the spotlight as well. There's a balance that needs to be had here between focusing on other people and their needs and focusing on you and your needs and the opportunities that are coming in, the blessings that are coming in for you at the start of this month, because there are opportunities that are coming in, but you have to act upon them. You have to actually do the thing in order to take hold of that opportunity and to make it so. Then mid-month on January 18th, there is a new moon happening at 28 degrees in the sign of Capricorn. This is a really important time for a big reset in relationships. So much has been revealed to you up to this point when it comes to your connections with others, and you've started new action when it comes to your connections with others. This is a time where you really are starting to understand what you truly and deeply need in relationship. And this is an important time to set intentions around your current partnership to make it stronger, more stable, more long lasting, more fulfilling. But this is also an important time, if you are not in relationship, to set intentions for what you truly need, want, and desire, and to find somebody whose beliefs are aligned with your own. So you have that connection there, that stability, that structure, that framework for a lasting relationship. This is also a really good time to set intentions for changes or pivots that you need to make in your social connections and in your friendships, because new friendships could be coming in around the time of this new moon if you allow it to be so. Everything that goes on this month requires your action and your participation. It's not just going to happen for you. And there is an activation that can happen here to bring in the right connections that are more exciting, more liberating, and more aligned with who you are now versus who you used to be. At the end of the month, from the 19th through the 30th, there is a strong, really intense energy in the 8th house. There are going to be thoughts around really intense topics and themes and issues. This is a really important time to do the deep inner work, to do the journaling, to do the therapy, to turn inward, to really figure out what it is that has been controlling you from the inside out. What are these past experiences that are still controlling your behavior now through fear, through trauma, through whatever it is that happened to you that's not necessarily relevant in the present moment. There could also be really intense conversations coming up, or intense messages coming through around your finances, especially joint finances in partnership. So there could be energy around that if your spouse or significant other is having financial changes or financial difficulties. It could also be you thinking about planning for death and what happens after you're no longer here when it comes to your material possessions. That could be a big thing that's coming up around this time too. There could be communication or messages that are coming in literally around death. That doesn't mean someone's going to die, but there's it's on your mind for some reason. There's also potentially some sort of information that you're gathering involving eighth house, like occult topics and themes, which involve things like spell work, witchcraft, alchemy, the occult. Astrology can even be in this realm too, where there's like a new study or new information that's coming in, and that could be very helpful for you in a lot of ways. For Leo and for Leo rising, the start of this month, really through the 15th of January, is all about your health, your work, and your day-to-day routines. This is where new revelations can come in, involving your health practices, involving ways to rebalance and harmonize your body to come back into a state of homeostasis. This is all about also motivation to take new action to jumpstart your health for the new year. This could be a beautiful time for you to initiate a new exercise routine and to actually stick with it. And this is not just about doing all the things and eating all the right stuff and, exercising and working out really hard. This is all about balancing those physical needs with the need to actually rest, to recover, to recuperate, to take time out in solitude, to just be and just exist, to get a good night's sleep. And so this is about work and rest balance, not just about doing. There could also be new opportunities or a newfound motivation when it comes to your day-to-day work or an important work-related project. I really love this energy also for maybe coming into contact with a new pet or a new animal, if that's something that is applicable to you, or forming a bond or a relationship with a pet or a new animal, if that's applicable to you. But there's definitely a lot of motivation to do things. Like there's going to be a flurry of activity in your day-to-day life at the start of this month, and that's going to be felt as a very positive thing. And definitely this is the time to get things going when it comes to your health. Mid-month, around the 18th, you're going to have a new moon at 28 degrees in the sign of Capricorn, also in your 6th house. So you've gotten the messages, you've figured out how to rebalance things, you've made the right connections with the right people who can help you and assist you, the right practitioners. You've started your new workout routine. Now is the time to set your intentions for your health goals for the year ahead. This is also a really important time to set goals for your work and important work-related projects, and also the big changes that you need to make in your career moving forward to overcome some big financial burdens as well, it looks like. So there's something that you need to be focusing on or changing in your day-to-day work habits and your day-to-day work experience in order to create the bigger pivots and the bigger changes that still need to happen in your work. You've probably made some pretty dramatic changes in your career or in your public reputation or in the work that you're doing out in the world, whatever that might mean for you. But now's a time where you have to kind of focus more on the details and make those final little pivots to restructure things in a way that work not just for your freedom out there in the world doing what you want to do career-wise, but also that help you out more financially, because there is like a heaviness still in your 8th house around maybe a debt or a financial situation, or maybe even a partner's resources that needs to be worked through. At the very end of this month, from the 19th through the 30th, you have a really big energy in your 7th house, which is the house of relationships. This is a time of difficult, deep conversations in any one-on-one important relationship, but especially if you are married, your spouse or your significant other might come to you and need to share something with you, or you might feel like you need to reconnect or deepen your connection in some way. You might want to express your desires on all levels with your partner. There's definitely the need here for some sort of revelatory conversation, though. There's some sort of big, deep truth that's going to be revealed to you involving a close connection, a partnership, or even a contract or an agreement at the end of this month that's going to change things pretty dramatically for you. For Virgo and for Virgo rising, for the first half of the month through the 15th, the energy is all about connecting with your joy, doing the things that you love to do because you love to do them. You're going to feel much more motivated to go out on the town, to have a good time, to see that show or that concert, to go out dancing, to connect with a hobby or an interest that you really love to do. You might also feel motivated to take something something you're passionate about and turn it into a business, that would be something that you could actually really accomplish this year, especially if you get started right out the gate in 2026. I also really love this energy for spicing things up romantically. This is a really important time where you're going to have big revelations involving your romantic connections, your passion, and your connection with your partner. I love this for spicing up your sex life because we have Mars here in the sign of Capricorn, which is typically very straightforward. But when we have Mars in the mix and Mars exalted in Capricorn, Mars rules sexuality and our sexual expression. And so that might be something that's on your mind or that is applicable to you that's happening at the first half of this month. This is also a really important time for connections with friends and group associations, especially right at the start of the year, around the new year. That first weekend of the month on January 3rd, you're going to have that full moon in your 11th house. And so it's a very social time for you at the first part of this month. And a lot of benefits can come through your social connections and through putting yourself out there and just having fun and doing things with the people that you care about and that you enjoy being with. Mid-month, we're going to be having a new moon also in that 5th house, also in the sign of Capricorn. This is a really important time for you to set intentions involving passion projects, involving deepening your education or shifting things so you can do more of what you really love and what you really believe in and what you're really passionate about. There's some sort of energy here where boundaries need to be either built up or dissolved, involving an important one-to-one connection with somebody, potentially a spouse or significant other, in order to allow more time for you to have the freedom to do what you want to do and to experience more joy in your life. But there could also be intentions set here involving children or having additional children, taking on that responsibility for children or sharing the responsibility more with your partner so you can have more time to do your creative pursuits. Later on at the end of the month, from the 19th through the 30th, you're going to have a lot of energy in the 6th house. There's a really intense focus on your health and maybe doing some research around health-related topics or an important message coming in around health. You might also, if you're somebody who works like in an office setting or who employs people, there could be some very intense conversations going on in the workplace with your coworkers or with your subordinates, with your employees, that these are difficult conversations, but they need to be had. The truth might be revealed about somebody who's working for you, and you might have to address that. And that could be a big part of the end of this month. For Libra and for Libra rising, the beginning of this month, really through January 15th, is all about your home, your family, your roots. There's something that's being revealed to you that is going to help you to come into greater harmony in your family connections, with Venus going Cazimi on the 6th of January. There's also the need to take action on something involving your home, involving your property, involving your relationship with your parents or with close family members in some way. That's going to be coming up as well. It's kind of like there could be a conflict that was happening or occurring involving your family dynamic or involving something with like your place of living, like a contract or something like that, or involving maybe a renovation or a project in the home. And all of a sudden, the way to come back into harmony is revealed and you're able to address it head on, but it doesn't lead to some sort of intense conflict. It's like, I know exactly what I need to do and what action I need to take here in order to resolve this problem. You're also going to have a little bit of a burst of energy at the start of the month where there's a career opportunity or an opportunity that comes to you from somebody in a position of authority or somebody that you look up to that puts you in the spotlight. And the changes that you're making or the revelations that are coming to you in your home and behind the scenes are going to really set the foundation for you to be able to grow that opportunity and to take hold of that opportunity. It could also be that there's something that you're putting out there in your work that you already started where it's coming to this like culmination point and you're getting recognition for it. And then middle of the month, around January 18th, we're going to have that new moon in Capricorn also in your 4th house. This is the time to set intentions for what you truly need, want, and desire in the home. I think a lot of you are going to be setting intentions for like buying a new home or moving or changing something really big in your home environment. And I think that could be really powerful at this time. If you're somebody who needs funding or financing for something like that, this is the time to set those intentions and to really focus on those goals, because the change that you're hoping for financially is probably going to open up for you as a result of this. And then at the end of the month, from January 19th through the 31st, there is a lot of action happening in your 5th house, which is the house of play, hobbies, interests, things that you do because you're passionate about it. It's also the house of children, and I would say that there could be some really deep and intense conversations with your children or about your children or surrounding the topic of children that will reveal to you what you truly need, want, and desire, or might reveal to you hidden power struggles involving the parent-child relationship that need to be addressed, and you will address them. The hard conversations need to happen, and they're going to happen around this time period. This could also be just you going down a big rabbit hole about something that you are deeply and truly passionate about, and maybe wanting to kind of share that with other people. There are big ideas and messages and downloads coming to you that are revealing something to you about what you need to be pursuing, your creative passions and pursuits. This is also a very empowering time where you can take what you love and you can incorporate it into who you are and the way that you show up in the world in a bigger way. For Scorpio and Scorpio rising, at the start of this month, really through the 15th of January, there is a lot of energy around community and communication. Really important messages are going to come in that are going to help reharmonize your mind. This is about thinking more positively. You're going to have a lot of mental optimism. This is also a really important time where you can learn a new skill or take action to initiate an educational pursuit that's going to be very beneficial for you. It's kind of like a short thing, like a certification program or a quick course or a workshop of some kind that really changes your mindset around something and helps provide a lot of motivation. There's also the need to take action on something involving your community and immediate surroundings, or to take action on something involving a vehicle or a vehicle repair even, or a commute that can go really well for you at the start of this month. There's also potentially money coming in that can help you with that if that's something that you've been lacking. This could be a time to repair and reharmonize relationships between you and people in your community, neighbors especially. If you have a neighbor that you don't get along with, now's the time to take action, to do something that will help settle things and create better equilibrium and harmony within that connection and relationship moving forward. That full moon energy is also going to bring into the mix the culmination of some sort of wisdom or experience or learning opportunity, or it could be the culmination of like the wisdom that you've acquired through previous educational pursuits that you're finally able to teach and share with other people. That could be a big thing coming up for you at the time of the full moon. I also love the energy of the full moon for a trip or travel at the start of the month, if that's applicable to you. There's definitely going to be a shift in your attitude at the start of this month, that you're going to be feeling just way more optimistic and enthusiastic. And that's going to color your experience and allow you to take advantage of more opportunities, I would think, at the start of this month through the 15th. On the 18th, there's a new moon also in the 3rd house. This could be you setting intentions for something involving communication, marketing, education, learning a new skill set, teaching a new skill set, starting a podcast, sharing information in little bits and pieces with the world in some way. There's an important conversation that you might also need to have around the time of this new moon involving changes that you need to make within your partnership or within a contract or an agreement with other people. That could be a big part of this as well. It's kind of like you've been having a hard time just connecting with joy over the past 2 years. Like everything that you love to do feels like it's been restricted in some way, like you can't fully connect with it. This new moon is the time to change your mindset around that and figure out a way to alter things in order to make space moving forward so you can engage more with those passion pursuits. Finally, at the end of the month, there's going to be a lot of energy around home, family, property, and real estate. There might be a really important message or a really intense message that comes in surrounding your family relationships, or your parents. There might be something that you need to reveal to a close family member or to your family as a whole that you've been holding in, a deep truth that needs to be revealed. But there's definitely some intense conversations going on around your family or with your family. There could also be something that has been revealed to you involving your home or your place of living. That's a really intense message. There could be power struggles or control issues involving landlords or things like that in the home environment. But there's definitely something here, and there's a need to take action on something. It's kind of like you get this really intense message and you have to either separate yourself from that family member or that person, or you need to actually take action on something as a result of the revelation that has come. For Sagittarius and Sagittarius rising, for Sagittarius, this energy is really focused on money this month, especially for the first half of the month through the 15th. Money is on your mind, and it's kind of like you figured out a way to rebalance your financial situation, or there's an important purchase that you need to make that you finally get to make, and it's really exciting for you. There's definitely a lot of ambition and motivation and drive around creating and accumulating wealth and buying material things and doing things in the material world and engaging with that. And there could also be, at the start of this month, something that comes in where there's a culmination of either something that you put into motion with an important investment or a loan, or there could be a big insurance payout or some money that's coming in from an outside source. This could also be highlighting your partner's resources and an influx of wealth that comes in through your partnership, especially if you are married or in a long-term committed relationship where you share finances in some way. It's kind of like they're bringing money in and you are feeling really motivated, and you finally get clarity on the action you need to take to create the resources or to make that purchase or to have those possessions that you really want to have so you can enjoy the material world. You're getting a lot of clarity on that this month. This is a great time on the 18th. Once you get things in motion, you see where things are headed for you financially, this is the time to set really solid intentions for the changes that you need to make in your day-to-day work and your day-to-day life experience in order to have the financial future and the savings and the wealth that you truly and deeply desire. And so that's going to be a big part of this as well. This could also be setting intentions involving something that you need to let go of, or an obstacle that you need to overcome involving your home or your family situation. That could also involve finances in some way if that's applicable to you. And then at the end of this month, through the 19th through the 30th of January, there's a lot of really intense mental activity going on here. You're going to be doing a deep rabbit hole dive into something that's going to be really requiring all of your focused attention. Later on in the month, there's going to be an important message that comes through that could be very intense, but very revelatory. It's kind of like your mindset on something has to be transformed, and you are just obsessively working on whatever it is that comes up for you. It's kind of like this message comes through or this revelation occurs, and it sends you down a rabbit hole that you cannot escape, and that you need to not just study and learn and communicate to other people, but you need to take action on in some way. And then for Capricorn and Capricorn rising, the start of this month is really all about you, Capricorn. You're feeling much more beautiful, much more harmonious. People are going to be really drawn to your energy, especially around the 6th when we have that beautiful Venus Cazimi, and especially if you have your sun, moon, or rising anywhere at the middle degrees in the sign of Capricorn. I would say anywhere from 10 to 20 degrees, but especially around 12 to 15 degrees. You're going to be feeling this in a really powerful, really beautiful way. Like, I love how this brings you into a state of harmony. This makes you more likable, more charismatic, more personable, more outgoing, more social. It's going to have people being really drawn to you. This is a time, if you want to do something where you're influencing people in some way or you need to be well liked, this is the time to make it happen. This is also a time where you're going to be feeling much more ambitious and motivated to take action. And this is a really wonderful time to start a new workout routine, to do something to enhance your appearance, especially around the 6th, or to do something that you just find very pleasurable and enjoyable, especially when it comes to the physical body. So doing something like a massage could be really beneficial. A massage and a sauna and a workout, all of the things that are associated with this Venus and Mars energy here. That would be great to do at the start of this month. And we also have really beautiful benefits coming to either your partner, if you're somebody who's married, or through a partnership with somebody where like an opportunity comes to you at the start of this month through your personal connection with somebody who you're very close with. Middle of the month, around January 18th, this is the time to set really solid intentions for anything you need, want, and desire for the year ahead. This is all about you tapping into that energy of the opportunities, the reharmonization, the new connections, the balance that you've created in the beauty through your relationships, that motivation and ambition that you've cultivated through the first half of the month, and channeling that into an intention to do something that's going to change things up to allow you to connect with your joy and your purpose and the things that you love to do because you love to do them way more so than you've been able to in the past, and to change your mindset around something, because there's been a little bit of pessimism for you, Capricorn, with Saturn transiting through the sign of Pisces. This is where you shake yourself out of that and your negative self-talk starts to go away through your intention. This is, at the end of the month, a time where you could have some very intense ideas around finances or intense messages coming in around money. There could be a bill that comes in that you didn't realize was still applicable, and it's really intense and it feels very psychologically intense. You can find yourself ruminating on your financial situation, or ruminating on an important purchase, or ruminating on your budget. This is actually the best time from the 19th to the 30th for you to really dive in and balance your budget, figure out your budget for the new year. If there are some calculations you need to do, if there's some accounting that you need to do, this is the time to really dive in, because you're going to get a lot of clarity on some really important things when it comes to those numbers that can help you to transform your financial situation and really build deep wealth moving forward. And this is really you figuring out what you truly need, want, and desire financially. And it's not what you thought it was going to be. So it could be that you always thought, like, I want to make, $1 million. But you figure out that what you truly desire is maybe not the $1 million itself, but the freedom that it allows you, or the power that it creates, because this is Pluto. It is about power. This is about potentially power and control issues coming up around your money and finances and your money mindset that needs to be modified and looked at and shifted in some way, transformed in some way, in order to create a better financial future moving forward. For Aquarius and Aquarius rising, the start of this month has you doing a lot of activity behind the scenes, behind closed doors, away from public view. And this is going to be lasting really through the 15th of the month, because you have a whole stellium of planets in the sign of Capricorn in your 12th house, which is the house of secrets. It's the house of things that are kept hidden. And so it's almost as if you're taking action on some sort of secret project behind the scenes, or you're getting internal motivation for something. This could also be taking action on a new spiritual pursuit or a new spiritual discipline. That would actually be a really wonderful and beautiful way for you to utilize this energy and harness it really positively. There could be sleep disruption around this time, especially outside of the Cazimi period on the 9th of January, because Mars is transiting your 12th house. And I've seen this time and time again, where Mars in the 12th house does lead to insomnia and sleep disruption. If this is you, make sure you check out my Celestial Self-Care Workshop, where we'll help you deal with that. But it's not something that will be long lasting if that is the case. And for you, because Mars is exalted in the sign of Capricorn, it's probably less likely to be so. This is more about you having to take action on something behind the scenes. This could also be you having to address something about, like, a hidden influence from somebody behind the scenes, or a hidden enemy even, where you're able to take action and separate yourself from that person very harmoniously, seamlessly, and to your benefit. There's also going to be, at the very start of this month, an energy that pulls you out of kind of rest and contemplation and reprieve and doing things in secret behind closed doors, yada, 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 and pulls you into your day-to-day mundane routine life. But there's a lot of benefits that can be had through engaging with the physical, especially that first weekend of the month around January 3rd. There's something coming to a culmination, a beneficial energy that's going to be helping you physically to heal your body, that's going to be helping you career-wise when it comes to a very important project. This could also be the culmination of an important project in your work that comes to a head, and you receive a lot of recognition and benefits for it around the start of this month, but there's also a need to pull back and to spend time in solitude, seclusion, rest, and reprieve because of all of this 12th house energy at the start of the month. And even when it comes to the new moon, this is a very deeply introspective new moon. This is about you contemplating the ending of really big cycles in your life, cycles involving financial troubles and restrictions, cycles involving your home and instability in your home and in your family life, where you are setting intentions to finally move on from these things once and for all. Finally, toward the end of the month, there is a huge stellium of planetary energies in your sign. That means all eyes, all focus is on you. You are going to be feeling obsessed with something. There is a lot of mental energy going on at the start of at the end of this month for you, Aquarius. This is all about you going down a really big rabbit hole. This is all about you reassessing the major life themes, your major life direction. This is all about you reevaluating and reassessing who you are and the way that you show up in the world, and aligning yourself more fully and truly with your deepest needs, wants, and desires moving forward. This is also an empowering transit where you can manifest very easily your intentions with your thoughts and your words. And so be very careful what you say around the 19th through the 30th of this month, because you can really speak things into reality, Aquarius, way more so than ever before. And it's almost as if the things that you want are being drawn into your life like a magnet, especially if you communicate them with other people. Even if you just write it down, the act of putting it out there in words and in language is going to really help things come to fruition for you. And if there's something you don't want in your life, this is the time where you can really repel it in a very intense way, again, through your intention, your thoughts, and your words and your language. So this is a powerful time for you, Aquarius. Then for Pisces and for Pisces rising, at the start of this month, there's a lot of activity around your friends and your social networks. This is the time for you to really reconnect and reharmonize with the people that you surround yourself with by choice, your tribe. This is also a time where new important friendships and connections can come in, especially around the 6th and the 9th of this month. This is a really important time where beautiful connections can come in with people who share your passions, who share your interests, who light up your life and bring more joy into your experience. This is also a time where you might be feeling motivated to do some group-oriented project, where you might have a lot of ambitions that involve some sort of club or organization. This was where you could take on a leadership role in some sort of organization and do really well at it. If you're like applying for a leadership role in some sort of social club or even like a charity or humanitarian type of organization, this is a time where that could actually work out really well for you, and a lot of incredible benefits can come through taking that initiative around this time period. This is also a time where connections that need to be severed with friends will be severed very easily. It's kind of like it just happens very seamlessly and you don't have to think about it too much. This could also be a time where more money could come in through your job or through your business especially. So this could be like your salary being increased, or you taking the initiative to ask for a raise of some kind and that coming through, or especially if you are somebody who has a business, you're taking initiative to do something or take action that's going to generate more cash flow in your business as a result of this configuration. There's a lot of energy, a lot of opportunity, a lot of communication coming in through your social networks that can benefit you financially, that can benefit you career-wise, and can just benefit you socially by bringing in more enjoyment. And this is leading up to the new moon in the sign of Capricorn on the 18th of January, which is going to be all about you shaking off any last energies around limitation, restriction, fears, any sort of depressed, down feeling energy that's been weighing on you, where you might have not been feeling as optimistic as you usually are, where there's been a lot of boundary issues showing up in your life. This is a time for you to nip that in the bud. This is the time for you to set intentions to create stronger, more appropriate boundaries moving forward, and to let go of that heaviness, that burden of responsibility, and that extra weight that's been leaving you feeling depleted or leaving you feeling not quite yourself, because we're going to be moving on from that once and for all. And this is really about shifting your mindset and your day-to-day mentality around things in order to create that reality. Finally, at the end of the month, from the 19th through the 30th, This one's interesting for Pisces. I would say for Pisces, gossip. Like, you might be gossiping and it might be revealed in some way, or it could be that it's revealed to you that somebody's talking about you behind your back. There's something really intense going on here behind the scenes involving communication that you might not be aware of, or ideas that are being thrown out there that you might not be aware of, messages that you could be receiving that are very intense that you could be aware of if you're cognizant of your dreams and things that come through in states of meditation. So there's a lot of interesting stuff going on here. So on the one hand, I would say in the physical material world, there's someone who is speaking about you behind your back. It might be good, it might be bad, but it's below your awareness, and there could be intensity around that. There could also be you speaking about people or keeping secrets that end up being revealed, or your secrets could end up being revealed in some way. This is also an energy where important messages are going to be coming through in your dreams and in transient states, altered states of consciousness meditation that are very deep and very transformative and very important to pay attention to. I would say for most of you, these messages would be very apparent and would be screaming at you, even if you're not somebody who normally receives in this way. Write down what happens in your dreams. Spend more time in meditation. Spend more time just sitting there and thinking and allowing things to come to you, because there is something really important that's going to be revealed to you that's going to really shift the way that you do things moving forward. And it's also going to help you to end repeating patterns and cycles that no longer serve you moving forward. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed this video, make sure that you like it, you subscribe to my channel, and share this with a friend if you feel like they can benefit from the information that I shared with you today. And I hope to also see you in Celestial Self-Care, my medical astrology workshop all about rest and restoration that we are going to be having live on January 31st. You can get that at a discounted rate right now at the link down in the description below. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye, everyone.